Welcome into RedHawk Softball Weekly. Luke Poley back with the head coach of the Miami RedHawks, Mandy Gardner-Colegate. Nothing but wins again for Miami this past weekend as the RedHawks win 4 games in Richmond, Kentucky against the likes of EKU, IU, Indy, and NKU. The finale of the weekend, unfortunately, canceled against Delaware State, but that now sets you guys, coach, at 18-4. You've won 13 games in a row, which is tied for the ninth longest active winning streak in Division One. It's tied for the second longest active winning streak by a mid-major school. You finally get the chance to play some home games coming up this weekend with MAC play coming up. But how are things going? Seems like pretty well for you guys right now.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know those those winning streak stats. So that's pretty cool. Again, we just try to be where our feet are. Someone actually just told me about the just our winning streak in general. And again, it didn't we don't talk about it, we don't focus on it. We just try to be where our feet are. So that was pretty cool that people are noticing that. And then obviously those stats, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, we've just been playing um pretty well. I mean, there's some stuff that we still need to clean up, but obviously we're getting wins, and that's the the most important thing. And good teams find ways to win even when they're not playing well. So I think that part is really good for us. I think it'll help us here once we get into MAC play. You know, we're coming from behind in some of the games and winning some of those. And again, just not really taking care of the ball all 7 innings right now. And so I think for us to continue to find ways to be successful and finding those wins is going to help us kind of in the longevity of the max season. But would like to see us play a little bit sharper. Pitching wise, we're pitching the ball well, but we're still having some moments of some innings where the other team's getting ahead or free bases or things like that. So want to clean up that. And then same thing on the defensive side. And then offensively, we're still giving away a little bit too many at bats for our liking, but still hitting the cover off the ball. So you can't really complain too much. And again, when you're winning, you can't really um, focus on the negatives too much. But we just are trying to, get our team to compete to their fullest potential, especially going into MAC play.
You alluded to kind of this roller coaster this past weekend a little bit in terms of how you guys won. You open the weekend, you bump IU Indy 13-0, and then you play an Eastern Kentucky team that has played you guys tough pretty much every single year. You play them generally, it feels like in 1 to 2 midweeks a year, and those are always good games. You win that game 3-2. The next day against NKU, you guys score all 7 runs of the game in 1 inning. You win that 7-4, and then the finale, what ended up being the finale of the weekend because of the cancellation, you guys score the final 4 runs of the game to come back on obviously an IU Indy team that you took care of pretty handedly in the opener. And you guys come back to win that game 6-5. So I know that you talked about just now, maybe not the full completeness of your guys' game there just yet, but what were the emotions like of your group as you kind of navigated through pretty much 4 completely different styles of game this weekend?
Well, I think for us, we have, that confidence and that belief that we're gonna go in and win every single game. And I think there's moments in the game that even when we're behind, it's like, oh no, we're still gonna take care of this and get it done. I think we would like to, as coaches, see that a little bit sooner. Not always get behind to get us a little bit butt kicking. And so I think for us, it's just stepping on the gas right from the get-go. When we score early, we set a tone, which is awesome, and then we just need to continue that. I feel like there's times where we score early and then we kind of back off, kind of our quality at bats go down. We have maybe some 1, 2, 3 innings on offense that aren't generating a lot of, energy, and then then we have a big inning, and then that kind of puts us ahead. So one of our goals is to score every single inning. And so I think just continuing that, moving into MAC play is something that we're going to focus on. And we had a really great team meeting yesterday about that. And we don't want to have to rely on coming back from games. We want to be in the driver's seat the whole time. And so it was a great conversation. They understand what our goals are moving forward and what we need to do to kind of achieve that. And so I think for us having different types of wins in the, preseason is awesome because we know we were going to be able to come back from a deficit and still come out with a win. We've been in the driver's seat as well. We've been in close games. We've been in, where we're winning a lot more by a lot more. So I think there's the different types of games we've been in has kind of going to help us set up for the rest of the MAC and kind of handle whatever situation's thrown at us. And again, it goes back to that belief. Like we know we can win any game that we step into, no matter what the score is in the given moment. And I think that part is what makes, our team so special.
This program has kind of been built off the back of just scoring a million runs and hitting the ball out of the yard the last few years. And you guys are top two in the MAC in pretty much every offensive category, but kind of the new development this year, which you talked about, has been the pitching side. You guys are first in the MAC by a lot right now in terms of ERA. Pretty middle of the road in terms of your strikeout numbers, but you're getting a lot of outs on the ground. Teams hit worse against you than anybody else in the MAC. So, just what have you liked about the development of your pitching? I know we've talked a lot about the depth of your pitching, but now getting to see that, through 20 plus games, what have you liked?
I mean, they're just all competitors. No matter who we put out there, whether we start them, whether they're coming in relief, whether they're closing, they go out and just compete for their team. And they trust their defense, they feed into their defense. And, I think for us having the numbers we have, especially against the competition we faced, speaks volumes on their work and what they've done as a development, all year. And so I think for us, we've played probably the toughest schedule of anyone in our conference. And for them to have the top some of the top pitching numbers is just cool. It's a testament to their hard work. And I think on the other side of that you mentioned the strikeouts, again, we've faced really tough offenses that don't strike out a ton. So I think our strikeouts are there. I think if we played a little bit of a lighter schedule, they might have been increased a little bit. But strikeouts aren't the only way to get outs. It's just one way to get an out. And so again, we try to feed our defense and our pitchers know that they trust them. We're trying to get ahead in counts as well. That's something that, again, last year we struggled with free bases, so we really try to limit this year. And so getting ahead in counts means that people are probably going to start swinging a little bit earlier and maybe put the ball in play earlier. So we've had a lot of 4 pitch innings, 5 pitch innings. I mean, I feel like there's at least a few a game. So that's great for our pitchers too. They're not having to throw as many pitches in a game. And I think Leia, Leia threw the IU Indy game. She only threw like 80 pitches in 7 innings, which is crazy. She was actually one strike away from a no-hitter, which would have been really cool for her. She threw in last year in the MAC tournament, a 5 inning no-hitter, but this would have been a 7 inning no-hitter, which would have been pretty cool. But again, it was a little bloop, a little bloop hit, which always seems to happen. But she just trusted her defense, and threw really well this weekend as well. Lily got some innings. We got to get Shelby in as well. So kind of almost our complete staff out there this weekend, which was really fun. And no matter who's stepping in the box, they know that they put the work in, they trust the plan, and then they just execute the pitch. And then again, just trust their defense. So they're all so selfless. It's such a cool thing. Most pitchers I feel like have egos or are all about them and they are all about each other and all about their team. And it's just really cool to have such a unique group that is so about the team and about um, winning and about again feeding their defense and they don't care about the accolades even though we've had a decent amount this year from a pitching standpoint. They just always credit their team and I think that goes deeper even into their parents are always like great team wins. It's just a cool culture to be a part of because again a lot of times pitchers it's all about them and for them they don't want it to be about them and so it's just really unique and I think that's why we're kind of firing on all cylinders on that aspect. Like I think that's why they're having the success they are because they are so selfless. So
We talked a couple weeks ago about you guys limiting the running game, and I mean, teams are just not running on you guys right now. You have one caught stealing this year, and that's just because teams just aren't even trying against you guys, right? And so I know that you'd love for the other team to run into some silly outs on the bases, but what can you say about the work your battery has done just to pretty much make the running game a non-factor against you guys?
yeah, we've faced some really fast teams too that have stolen a lot of bases. Even this weekend, I mean, we were looking at last year's stats, this year's stats. I mean, there's some players that had 25 plus stolen bases last year and they're already into double digits this year. So, when Kenna's back there, people just don't steal on her. She has an absolute cannon for an arm. She's extremely accurate. And it's almost like she kind of dares people to steal on her because They normally try it once and then they it's not close and then they just don't from that point forward. And same thing with Lindsay. Lindsay has a great quick release and is able to get the ball, down to second base quickly. So they don't have success with her either. So it's been cool to see, having two catchers that do really good work behind the plate that really work for our pitchers, and then also can throw people out on the bases because nothing is worse than turning a single into a double, right? It's great for us when we're on offense, but not when we're on defense. And I think our catchers have done just a great job at exactly limiting that and not even allowing people to try because they know they're probably going to be unsuccessful. And I think as well, our pitchers are doing such a great job at not letting people get on and not giving up a ton of hits where when people get base runners on, they don't want to eliminate that base runner either. So I think it kind of goes just with everything that our battery is doing. But yeah, both of our catchers, are doing a great job stopping that run game because we're seeing it on from our side of it on offense. Like we run and it creates chaos, it creates havoc, and we've gotten a lot of runs and generated a lot of runs because of our run game. And we don't want to have that happen to us when we're on defense. So
MAC play coming up for you guys this weekend with Western Michigan. You get to play at home finally. Weather during the week has warmed up a little bit. It did rain this past weekend. It's probably going to then cool off again on you guys before you guys actually get to play this weekend. But what does this week look like for you guys to maybe finally get out on the field a little bit? And then, of course, hopefully finally get to play some games on that field coming up on Friday.
yeah, we're excited to be home. I think we've been longing to be able to sleep in our own beds and just have a routine. We're a very routine oriented team. So I think for us, just waking up in our own beds, eating our own breakfast, kind of just being around town. A lot of families are coming in this weekend. A lot of fans will be at our game. So I think for us, it's just getting back settled at home. And yeah, we'll be out on our field today for practice, which hasn't happened many times. Tomorrow there's rain, so we'll probably be back inside. But we'll be able to be outside on Thursday for one last good practice before Friday and Saturday. And again, it's nice. Mac plays great because we get to scout just one opponent instead of five. We were just talking about that in the office. Like you just got to scout one, which is nice from a coaching, time standpoint. So, but we're ready. I mean, we're ready to start. The girls are ready. They're excited, and we were talking yesterday about how everyone has us circled that we're playing now moving forward. Everybody wants to knock us off and ruin our season, and we're just going to continue to focus on ourselves and play Miami softball and know that if we're playing our game that we're gonna win any game that we play. So we're just ready to, yeah, be at home, be in front of our fans, and sleep in our own beds, honestly.
RedHawks are in town for the first time. Home opening series this weekend and MAC opening series Friday and Saturday. 3 o'clock start on Friday, Saturday at 1 with the second game of the doubleheader to follow against the Western Michigan Broncos in a 3-game series. Those games can be found on Chatterbox Sports. Can also make your way out to Miami Softball Stadium. Looking like there's a gap in the rain on Friday and Saturday. It'll return on Sunday, but the series will be done by then. So should be a little bit chilly, but some pretty clear and good weather for softball to get you guys started. Coach, best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much.